Hello, Toby. Can you hear me?
Hi, Temi.
It's so good to finally put a face to the name virtually.
Interesting. Yeah, right. Yeah. Nice to meet you, Temi.
It's nice to meet you too, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. I'd like to welcome everyone to Product Tank Virtual Meetup today. If you're just joining, thank you so much for joining us. We apologize for starting behind schedule. We'll just dig right into the program. I'd like to welcome you and everyone that is joining now. It would be nice for us to network right there in the chat room. But before I do that, just a few questions to lighten up the mood. Can you hear me?
Yes, Temi. I can
Okay. All right.
now.
Great. So I'd like to ask you, I mean, I know you're a product manager and I'm going to go into your profile to at least a summary of it. If you weren't a product manager, what would sorry, can you check to find out whether your mic is still
Mic check.
on?
Mic check.
Okay,
Mic
great.
check.
Okay, so I didn't hear what you said.
All right, cool. So I said I would probably have been in the hospitality industry.
Okay,
Anything that has to do with caring for people, you know, um, maybe being a chef, anything, that just makes, people feel loved. Yeah. That makes, people feel like, oh, you really care about them. So if I wasn't in the if I wasn't building products, meaning in the product management space, I'll be in the hospitality management space, basically. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, another one here. So do you have a bucket list of places you'd like to?
Bucket list of places. Interesting question. Uh, so I think I've visited quite a number of places already. Um, so I visited like the safari. I visited, you know, roller coasters like in Dubai, in London, and the likes. Um, I've tried quite a number of things. I think I've actually ticked
Okay.
out some of the things in my bucket list, but I don't have any specific thing yet. Um, yeah, I don't have any specific thing yet in my bucket list. Like right now, there's just so much work in my head, honestly, that I'm not really thinking about bucket list at the moment.
Okay.
Honestly,
Okay.
yeah,
Like you're
yeah,
just busy making the
yeah.
money and like the bucket
Well,
list will come later.
no, so I
Okay.
I I did some traveling at the beginning of the year, and I did some traveling
Mm-hmm.
at the end of last year too. So I think I'm quite satisfied, at least for
For the
now.
year.
Yeah. So because I
But
just
just
resumed
maybe
in a
next
new
year.
place, or if there's an opportunity to travel by the end of this year, but I'm not very, keen on
Keen,
that.
okay.
Yes, but
Okay.
until when I'm ready to travel, maybe next year or maybe later, then I can think about, what's the next thing or the next adventure that I want to get into. Yeah, but for now, my brain is just work, just get it done.
Seeing,
You
I
know?
see, I
Yeah.
understand. Okay. So the next one, because you said there's a lot of work on your mind, I think I know the answer, but I'm still
Okay.
going to ask anyway. So if you had 25 hours in a day, that's an extra hour. We usually complain that I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time to do certain things. So if you had 25 hours, an extra 1 hour, what would you use it? How do you spend your extra hour?
If I had an extra, interesting question. Um, it'd probably be with, having a face-to-face conversation with Bill Gates, Elon Musk, just being there with them and then just draining from their brains, how they are able to think so
Oh my
big,
goodness.
being very visionary, you know, that's really what I would use it for. Yeah.
So that means that mentorship, mentoring, those things mean a lot to you.
Yeah, definitely like mentorship. Like mentorship means a lot. Even though I'm not, I hardly use the word mentorship, you know, because for me, I believe that you can, like people have like different gifts and you can always reach out and you can't have everything in one person, so it's you figuring out, okay, so who is doing well in this industry and how can I get connected with this person to even see how they're doing things. So it's literally, so it's not mentorship with just one person. People say, oh, so they want to mentor me, but I don't embody everything. We all have different things that yeah, we all have different things in our life, that we want to achieve. For me, I have, my life isn't only just product management. There are other things that I want to do. I love athletics. Maybe someday I can say, you know what, I'm going into Olympics.
Oh,
you
wow.
know so yeah, so there are people that I look at in that space as well. Yeah, so mentorship across different things that I find interesting. So it's not just one thing. Yeah. So I believe in mentorship, but not embodied in one person, in different people.
So just in case you're just joining us, I'm having a conversation with Tobi Otokiti. She is the senior growth product manager at FlutterWave. She has over 7 years of experience building products across multiple industries. Now, we haven't scratched the surface yet because this is just the icebreaker, to getting to know some of the things she likes, questions about what she'll spend an extra hour doing, things like that. But we're going to go into the core. This conversation is about product management and it's about starting a journey as a product manager. As I said, she has a lot of experience under her belt and she's willing to share. So she's going to be talking about
Yeah.
lessons for her younger self. So all of us that are younger, or or even people who are older and still feel there's a lot to learn from Tobi. We're gathered here to enjoy this meeting. Thanks to Product Tank. So a big thank you to Product Tank Abuja for setting up this meeting. So we're going to it straight, but let me tell you a few things about Tobi. So I already mentioned that she's a senior growth product manager at FlutterWave. She has over 7 years experience building products across multiple industries, including financial technology, education technology, logistics, and event management. So she helps businesses discover, manage the development and delivery of a product to customers. Now, before Flutterwave, where she currently is, she managed edtech applications that enabled Andela become operationally efficient and scale so fast. I'd also like to tell you that Tobi also worked at InterSwitch Group, where she managed payment products that enabled users across Africa perform seamless financial transactions. She's the founder of Product Dive. That's a product school that has helped over 1,500 product management professionals by providing the right set of skills, the right skill set through workshop and career support. Tobi is a thought leader in the product management industry, and she focuses on shaping the tech industry. That's essentially for an innovative and thriving African digital economy. Okay, I said so much about her, but one fun fact about Tobi is that she's an athlete and she likes cycling. I mean, she already mentioned that maybe Olympics sometime, part of things she could explore. So we're so honored to have Tobi Otokiti with us today. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome everyone. So we want to say hello to some people came in just because it is you. They just want to see your face and hear from you. So you want to say hello to them. So we go ahead.
Hi, Tammy. Thank you for the introduction, and hello, everyone. I actually wished, I could see our faces, but sadly, that's not the case. And I really can't, wait to see each and every one of us in person. I genuinely care about people. I believe that we can all succeed in life, and I believe that we can all fly and soar, as long as, we are always, as long as you can ask for help, and you don't feel bad asking for help, because I know that's a thing, as long as you're also bold. There's this thing Mark Zuckerberg says, that fortune favors the bold. So I'm really happy to be here to share my experience with us.
Yippee! So we're diving right into it. I am aware that you studied computer science in the University of Ibadan. And from what I already read, I know first and the best. But nobody should come from you. I said that but you studied you studied computer science in the University of Ibadan. Today you're a product manager. You've worked at InterSwitch and Della. You work at FlutterWave today. You have this much experience. And I'd like to find out how it all started. How did this journey begin? How did you switch? I love stories, and so does everybody. So we are here to listen and learn.
All right, great. So I studied computer science, as you said, and after school, I didn't know I didn't know what it was I was going to do. After school, like, honesty, I had never heard about product management. But one thing that I know that I did is like, when they say cast your bread upon many waters. So I took courses in Oracle, because Oracle was like a thing then, which is like database administration. I took courses in CCNA, which is Cisco Certified Network Associate. I took courses in fact, I even went as far as learning how to repair laptops, how to repair motherboards, how to repair power packs. Yes. So I went that deep. Yeah, I went to a repair shop to say, I just really want to learn how you guys do these things. And that was really the beginning of my journey. I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. Even though, yes, I studied computer science and we're doing programming, I wasn't really enjoying it, in all honesty, because I'm like, I like people. I like to be with people. I like to make people feel like they're being urged, and then having to program every second, they'll even got so bad that there are times when I think I dream about code. It was that bad. I'm like, no, 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 that this is not the life. Like, sometimes I can't even sleep because I'm like, oh, there's this bug that I need to figure out, and I really don't know how to go about it. So I'm like, okay, no, I need to find something that I think that I'll really find interesting, and I would not feel like it's stressing me. So that's actually what led me to trying like so many of those things. So after school, definitely NYSC came, and I was privileged to serve in a school. Now school gives you that opportunity to pour out knowledge into students, which is something that I really love to do. I love teaching, and then I started to teach secondary school students. And again, out of like love for people, um, I then reached out to, I went in search of like public schools around. So I served in Ogun State, and I went in search of like public schools as a core member, which you call copper. And I found a public school. I'm
Wow.
like, okay, so yeah, Kafari, share. So I found a public school. I'm like, you know what? I really want to help you here. What are the things that you guys lack in this school? And I'm happy to, raise funds to help you people. And they have showed me so many places. They have said, it's a public, so you know the way public schools are now, right? They don't have chairs to sit on. They don't have the schools are very dilapidated. They don't even have like toilets. So, and I told them, I really wanted something that would last. That as much as, yes, I hear you that you need to create like boreholes, you need to create toilets, you want somebody to build boreholes for you. I now asked, do you have a library? Oh, but I'm like, no, they don't have a library. I'm like, okay, so cool. I think this is one thing that I want to do. I want to build a library for you. I want to equip this library with books, you know. And I found this so interesting. And that was really like the beginning of me writing proposals. I'd never written proposals before that time, but the internet is just at your beck and call, right? And then I started reaching out to friends, please come fund this thing. Some people told me no, that I would rather invest in this that would, earn me more than investing in a government. But this is a government problem. Toby, why are you wasting your money? Your copper we money. Eventually that project was a success, and it was something that I was really excited about. And the project is still live today. Like the students are using it. So we keep the library with books, with chairs. Like it's something that I'm really excited. And it just again, I gain satisfaction from this kind of things, knowing that I have solved problems. So from there, so from there, like after your NYSC, next thing is to look for a job, right? To get a job. And at that time, I used to live I grew up in Ibadan. My parents live in Ibadan, and I'm the only girl of the family. So they are really not, and I told them I wanted to move to Lagos to find a job. Like, no, 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 you can't let me go to Lagos. That Lagos is just too chaotic. Eventually I had to call like a family meeting. I had to call my uncles to say, what, this is what I want for my life. I don't think that the IT, information technology, is very strong yet in Ibadan. So they let me go. And then I started my journey in Lagos. Then I started at a startup, was a small place, but I really loved how I started as well, because the way startups are now, you get to do like almost everything. So I was a network administrator, and it was a startup that was servicing the event industry. So it's like building websites for event vendors and then listing them on your website. So network administrator, when people come into the organization, I'm the one setting up their laptop. Again, because I had a computer science background. So they believe anything IT, let's call her. Even if you had known this before or you had it, they just believe that you study computer science, you should know
So
how
you
to
know this.
set up somebody on Microsoft Outlook, you know. And then the organization also needed like animations to help market some of their products. I'm like, you know what, I can learn this thing. And then I learned animation. Then I also learned like storytelling, because when you create animations, you're also creating like the stories, right? That align with like the images, the pictorial, representations that people are seeing. So I did that for like a year. And then I got an opportunity at InterSwitch. So someone told me, oh, they were recruiting at InterSwitch. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And submitted my CV. They called me. I didn't have any product management experience. I never knew there was something called product management. But during my interview, they'll ask me questions. Okay, tell us about like your past, and then I told them about all the certifications that I've taken, you know, as confusing that may be, but I told them that it's not like I really have like a path that I'm saying this is where I want to, but these are all the things that I've tried. I told them about projects I'd worked on, and they seemed really excited about it. In fact, my line manager used to joke with me. The line manager that I had then, she would tell me that that there are people who came for the interviews and they looked very sophisticated, and they didn't think that they could do the running around of a product manager. I mean, I looked like this lady will run, she
Oh
would
my
like,
goodness. And that was it. And that was what they
you know,
needed.
yeah, except that was what they needed. They needed somebody who
Wow.
would be on our toes to ensure that things were getting done. Like, let's get this thing done. I know that was she told me. I'm like, interesting. So from there as well, when I was at InterSwitch, it's also you getting things done. Also, you taking ownership of work. Also, you clarifying and asking questions. So when they tell you do this thing, you're asking and asking, okay, so what do you mean? And you would always be blocked. Don't think that you would have everything figured out at the very beginning. No, you can't. But have that ownership mentality, that whatever it is that they've committed into your hands, you want to get it done and do it excellently well. So the moment you have that mentality, you're now working yourself backwards to say, how can I go about this thing? Now the how could mean you taking the training on that thing. The how could mean you having conversations with your engineers. So from there I also had like some accomplishments helping to build like new products, even managing products that existed, and also managing like relationships, having a good relationship with my engineer. And for me, at the beginning, it was tough because I had like very senior engineers, and it was the beginning of my career. And the way the product manager title is, right? It's a fancy title, but you're not really, really, really like a manager. The way they say a manager in a bank or a manager, you are,
Eh,
yeah. So that was like so when they give you that title manager, like there's a way you look at yourself that are thinking, hey God, I don't want to fail at this thing. I don't want to fail at this thing. Now they're saying I'm a manager, but I really don't want people to feel that way, because you can put so much pressure on yourself, especially if you are new and you're working with senior engineers. Just relax and just ensure that in every step of the way, you're also speaking with like maybe mentors. We talked about mentorship at the beginning, or people who have gone ahead of you and you're clarifying and asking how did you go about it so that they can help you. you know so from there, I got an opportunity at Andela, and the way Andela is, like, you have different centers across the world. You have in New York, San Francisco. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's an opportunity, to have
new
colleagues
and
all around
international
the world.
opportunity.
Yes, and also to see how things are done globally. You get, like, I'm not just building for Africa. Right now, I'm building globally. I'm building for people who will use this product in San Francisco, who will use it. So it was like another challenge that I knew that was going to stretch me, and it was a fantastic opportunity. Then moved on to FlutterWave, which is also another challenge because the payment industry is an interesting one. It's a lot complicated than what people think, and my role here at FlutterWave is to help grow usage of our products. So think of strategies. How can we get more people to use our products? What do we need to do to the product? Which markets should we be expanding to? So the role of a product manager, you need somebody who is very confident. And you need somebody who takes ownership. Okay, I think I'm back. I think that was my network.
Okay, yes, yes, yes. You were off for
Okay.
just a few seconds.
Yeah. All right. So all right, cool. So and it's been an interesting one, and always seeking alignment. That is very, very key. Alignment in the sense that what you are working on and building as a product manager, does it align with the business goals? How does it impact business goals? See, the role of a product manager, you need to be a very deep thinker. It's not an emotional conversation. Like, you can't say that I'm building a feature in a product because I want to, because I feel like. It is this product that I build. How does it impact the user? That's the first. The second, which your organization employed you for, is how can we make revenue from this product?
Money.
Because if the organization is not making money, then how do they pay your salary? You get my point? So it's not just about saying I want to build this fancy thing. It could be fancy thing, quite all right, perfect. But how do we gain from it? Because I've, I remember that when I was in one of these organizations that I talked about, there was a particular organization where I was managing 7 products, and one of my products was wasn't really like a big deal. It wasn't a big deal because it wasn't earning us so much money, you know. And then I will hear things like, let's kill this product. And I'll be angry. Now, why would they say, let us just kill this product? That this product has, so much, it has a future.
Prospect.
But in truth, it has prospects. But in truth, when you look at the number of resources that you have on ground, right? And when you think of prioritization, let me ask you, if you had 2 products, right? And one of the products, if you put in 5 resources into it, it gives you $1 million, right? And if you take out of those 5 resources and then you maybe give like 2 to one other product, which isn't really doing so well, and you were the MD of that product, what would you advise?
I'll focus on the one that is more productive.
Thank you. And that is how product managers should think. So even for me to, like, I don't read all of these things in books. And there's a lot of information out there on product management, but I don't see them very practical at the same time. It's one thing to have information, it's one thing to have practical information that fits into your context, into the Nigerian context. Knowing that you don't always have all the resources that you need. So you must be a ruthless prioritizer. Like, ruthless prioritization is very key for you. And in ruthless prioritization, you're thinking about impact, you're thinking about effort, you're thinking about your resources, you're thinking about this future that we build. How much impact does it have in the organization? Trust me, if you're able to do that well, you would grow. You would grow in your career. When I joined Andela, in less than 1 year, I was promoted to lead a team. In less than 2 years, I was given like 3 performance rewards. Now, I'm not saying this to brag or anything. I'm just saying that, see, ownership is key. And impact to the business is how you should always look at it from, not this is how I feel or I feel like, you know.
Mm.
And yeah, so tell me.
Mm. You've
Yeah,
said a
so
lot.
that's
And
like
you know, there
to
was a point you were
summarize.
talking and you said, see, See, when an African person tells you, see, it's getting very serious. Like, let me just tell you people the truth now. See, And some of the things you said, as you've just mentioned, they're not all things that you read in a book. There's something you gain from hands-on experience. And I'm glad that you
Yeah,
have Product Drive, which is a product
dive.
school. And you've trained about 8,500 people. We're going to get
No,
into that
hold on.
later
We've
on.
not trained over 1,500 people. It's a
Okay.
community of like 1,500. So we have people on Slack. We have people who reach out to us from Twitter. We have on Instagram. We have like a very large email list as well, because we send out emails that educates people. But we've not trained. In total, we've trained about 150 people.
Okay.
And from
So
these people trained
8,500 is the number of people in your
in
network.
the correct, yes, on an
Okay.
average, yes. Because at the
Okay. So
moment
you've trained about
we
150.
have yes, we trained about 150. At the moment we have about 780 people on Slack, and it's the Slack is quite engaging. We have people who drop resources, like, and trust me, it's even going to be a lot more engaging because there is something that we just launched last week. So everybody on Slack, on Product Guy Slack, you just get ready. Like, I have you covered. I want you to succeed, you know. And I have you
Definitely.
covered because so let me tell you why this is coming from. I I've had people reach out to me, CEOs reach out to me. Like they'll just send me a message on LinkedIn. I like, so please can I have like a one-on-one session with you? I just want to know how you are doing these things. Like, because I cannot see the value the product manager in my organization is giving to me.
Mm.
So what that tells me is that product managers are not doing their jobs. Maybe they do not know how, or maybe they've not realized the impact of their work, you know. So and that was one of the reasons I said, you know what, let's just bring out, like, let product guy come to life. Let's be very real with people. So I'm sharing practical things. I'm not just or we are not just, I read something in the textbook and I'm coming to teach you. No, you know, this is like practical that helps you to truly succeed, so that maybe the number of messages I receive from CEOs would reduce, you know, because I tend to recommend product managers a lot for roles. And I recommend because in a way I feel like they trust me and they already know that, okay, we think Toby is like a good product manager. So she knows the kind of product managers that we need, you know. But I also want that narrative to change, because we need product managers who are in their places of work actually doing their work. They are not running around like an headless chicken. Your work isn't only operational. Your work is also to be strategic. It is strategic plus operational. But if you are not finding a balance, you would not be able to add that value that your organization expects from you. You know, so where the, I don't know what to call it, what cap? Should we call it the boldness cap or the confidence cap? You know, and take ownership. I like what they say, and take ownership.
Yes,
Your
yes,
role
it's
is
so much
very
important.
priceless. Your role is very important, because yeah, you are the one who is saying, this is the direction that I want us to go today. So I had a call with my CEO today, you know, and I was really excited about it, because when they trust you, they feel like, oh, we can trust this person's direction. And what were we talking about? Strategies on how to grow. You're like, okay, so let's see an implementation plan. They're already aligned. Let's see an implement and let us see it, you know, let's execute. And the good thing is that one of my strengths is in execution, because I think I'm quite spontaneous,
Okay.
which is like a gift. You know, spontaneous people are very action oriented. Let's do it. It's clear, it's not clear. Let's do it, you know. So, just again, in summary, your role is very key to the success of an organization. But the organization needs to trust you, that they know that you know what your role really entails, you know, and they can trust you to sail them in that right direction. But it's possible, but you need to earn that trust.
And like you said, taking ownership is very important. Now I'm going to ask, your first role as a product manager was working at InterSwitch from this story you just told us. So InterSwitch was where you before this time you had gathered experience doing different things, and this experience was useful in getting this job. But your first
Yeah,
official role as a product manager with that title was at InterSwitch.
yeah,
Now between InterSwitch and now, it's been some years. I know you've
yeah.
mentioned a few things you've learned, but could you take us through some of that things you've learned on the job, looking back, and some of the things you say to your younger self, if you were just starting out, some of the things you say, oh, maybe you should have done this well. I'd like to know. And then quickly related to that, I'd like to ask, did you have any day, does any day come to mind as your worst day at work? At work?
Hmm. My worst day at work. Ah, worst day at work. Okay. So my worst day at work would be at the beginning of my career, where everybody was literally telling me what to do. The engineer feels this is the role of a product manager. Toby, this is what you should be doing. The operations person feels, Toby, this is what you should be doing. Like, everybody just has an idea of the role of a product manager. And you know what? I'm like, no, 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 no. The implication of that is that you are being pushed all around, you know. So I told myself, no, I am going to go for a training. I don't care where the training is. If the training is in London, if it is in Ghana, I must go for a product man. Honestly, that's what I did. I'm like, because I was new to the role, like, and there weren't so many communities, product management communities. So Product Tank Abuja is a gift to product managers.
Oh yes.
There weren't so many communities, and I, I, I was really sad. Like everybody was literally telling me, "Toby, this is your role. This is where you should be." I'm like, "Are you guys like this? Why do you think this should be my job?" Sometimes it could be they don't want to do it, so they push it to you. And because
Mm,
you are new, you're not sure, oh, should this be my role? Oh, should this not be my role? Because sometimes JD's changes. Like you're not sure, you're confused. So I would say that that was like the worst part for me. But now I can confidently tell you that no, this is my role, and these are the things that I am supposed to be doing with all confidence.
mm,
But
mm.
I can
So
only
the
say that
training was important.
yes, because remember you went to school for 4 years, you took training, but sadly the 4 years training I took was not product management, and you do not have product management universities. In fact, Harvard recently started product management, and the good thing is that so it's a new thing. So training is important because that's what gives you that confidence again that you're doing the right thing, and you can tell people, oh no, this is the role, and then they also begin to trust you.
Trust you.
So that
Yes,
for me, yeah,
that's
so
right.
that for me would have been like the worst part, people just tossing you around. But no, it cannot happen again.
I know it cannot. But closely related to that, I mean, before we go into that
Yeah.
question about taking us through your journey and the things you've learned on the job, did you have any best, I mean, most exciting that comes to mind as a product manager? Some things that gave you greatest joy, and if there's any particular incident.
Yeah, so I'm usually excited when I launch my products. So maybe when I launch, so there's this new feature you've been working on, and then you launch it. Launching means that that feature is now in the hands, or yeah, that feature is now in the hands of users, meaning users can now use the feature. Case in point, was like one of the organizations where I worked for, we built this cardless withdrawal thing, and we made so much noise in the hotel. It was like a big launch. And because I knew so much effort that I put into that, it's a cardless withdrawal service that banks even use today. You know, like I was so excited. Like
Like your
I'm like,
baby.
oh my god! So this, yes, because I used to go to work on Sundays. Nobody tells me to go to work on Sundays, but I can be that passionate. Nobody's saying so because nobody has ever said it's compulsory to go to work. But I can be that passionate. I just want this to work. In fact, very early in the morning, before 7 a.m., I'll have gone around ATMs testing that this thing is working on ATMs. This thing is working on ATMs. I won't. It's like almost everybody in my family needs to have downloaded that app, just to get to be sure that, oh, this thing is really, really working.
Yes,
So imagine
yes, I
now
know
doing like
that
a
joy.
public launch to everyone, and then the launch now happened in like a hotel. And like, oh yes, this feels really good. But there are also some launches that you've done. So like at Andela, I also built products, but most of my products were internal products, also launches. So one was a meeting room application that we had to roll out to Andela centers. So we rolled out to all meeting rooms in Kenya, that Andela, where we had Andela. We had rolled out to meeting rooms in Kampala, to in Kigali, so there are times when I had to travel there, and then I see people use the tools. I'm like, oh yes, yes, yes. And the
I
the
worked
value
on this.
proposition, yes, I not just
That
worked on it.
feeling.
I helped the business save this amount of cost because by building that Metrium application, it saved us money. So I tell people this is how much we are helping Andela to save. Because of this tool that we built. So those are like my really good days. See people use the product, and then the launch. The launch is always like the highlights for me. Because without execution, like ideas are just ideas, right? So launch is evidence of execution. So
I can imagine the joy. Okay, so to the
yeah.
question I asked first about some of the
Okay.
lessons you've learned on the job. It's been some years now. You started to
Okay.
work as a product manager. So
All
Any
right.
lesson that
So
comes?
yeah. So first lesson, be self-aware. It is very important. Self-aware makes you look inward to say, okay, this is my role. What does the business expect from me at this point in time? Do I have the skills now? Be true to yourself. To thyself be true, you know, and go level up. The organization does not expect you to know everything, but you're being self-aware makes you know, okay, these are the things that I need to level up in order to help the business achieve its goals. So be self-aware. The second thing is, which I already touched on, is learning for product managers to be at your beck and call like this, because you did not learn product management in university. There are things I'm learning. So let me tell you what I'm learning now. At the moment, I'm learning data analytics. Why? I didn't really need to learn data analytics before. And I'm not a data analyst, but I need it because I need to create strategies. I need data. I need to be able to, get insights from data. So it means that I need to learn it. You get? So that's like the second thing. Then the other thing is, don't think that so there is this thing around, people don't like product managers. Hello, your role is not to be liked or to be like people. You see, don't be in quest for I want people to like me. Be in quest for people to respect you. People respect you because of the quality of your work.
The word.
And that should be your goal. And then likeness will come after. Don't chase. Honestly, I see so many product managers chasing likeness. I want my developers to like me. You're gonna start buy pizza. I want my operations people to like me. They're focusing on the. I'm not saying people should not like it, but I feel like that's like, don't really put too much emphasis. Focus on gaining respect and trust from people. Gaining respect and trust from people comes from you improving on the quality of your work. And then people would like you. You would then now be like the go-to person, that, oh, if there's anything, speak to Toby. Toby has, oh, I like how Toby creates dashboards. I like how Toby, before people are reaching out to you, before they will like you because you are like the key to their success. You
Hmm.
get my point? But they're not really
Yeah.
liking you because of pizza. I've been there, I'm done. I'm serious. I've been there, I want people to like me. I want my engineers to, and I did that because they were senior engineers and I wasn't really sure. But right now, I hold the quality of my work in high esteem. Like, I don't know, like before I can churn out something, I must have thought about it several times. I must have, really, I must have done like a 1,000 research on Google. Before I'm like, okay, take this deck. Okay, it's good to go. Like, I'm so proud of my work. Like before, oh god. So you get my point. So the first thing I said is that be self-aware, right? The
Self-aware.
second one is you learning, like be very open. It's a new role. It's not like new, but you didn't learn it in university, so you must be very open to learning. The second one is don't chase likeness. Chase earning trust and respect from people. Then likeness will come after. The fourth one will be ownership. In fact, if there's one skill that I think every product manager should have is ownership. Ownership. Have that ownership mentality from beginning to end. Ownership mentality is even you thinking, oh, how do we scope this work? And it is also you thinking, oh, execution of this work. It's also you thinking of, oh, so if we launch this product now, we have our customer support. How will they support the work? Are they even aware of this new product? So that when customers start to call into your
Call
customer
in
support can
and respond.
support the product. And I'm saying, particularly saying this because I've seen product managers make this mistake before. I personally have made that mistake before, you know, and I've seen other product managers, they'll build the product finishes when they remember that there's operations. Oh, we do not carry operations along. Go, we did not think that they should tweak this thing or operations, or we didn't think about training the operations team It's now until when we now learn the preparation and we say, what is happening? What is happening? Oh, they are getting requests, they're getting requests, you know. So yeah, so that's like the summarized version of it. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. So many years of experience, and you
You're
just put it in
welcome.
those short points. Because the truth is, there are many stories I'm sure that can back up these experiences.
Yeah.
But put all of this, and we're so glad that we get to learn from you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask you about people who are out of school, fresh out of school, studied a different course, for example, medicine, law, different courses, and they are looking into starting out as product managers. And they're asking, what is the direction? How do we start out? Should we go do some training first, learn on the job first? What would you recommend?
Okay, so great question. So first of all, like um yeah, welcome into the product management space. Let me welcome you. Secondly, do not ever think that your role is a disadvantage to excelling in the product management role. The way the product management role is, see, I told you earlier on that I'm learning data analytics, right? Now, imagine if you were a data engineer and you said, you know what, I'm tired of this data engineering thing. I want to become a product manager. You know, it's going to be so easy for you to do the things that I'm doing right now because you
Yeah.
already have that background. Same thing with if you had an accounting background and like, you know what, I'm done with like this half. I'm no longer interested in accounting. You know what? I want to become a product manager. In my new life to right now, and I'm creating models, financial models, right? If and I'm being very truthful to us and being very practical, you know, if I was an account person, right, an account manager, or you know, this thing I'm doing right now will be easier for you because you already have the background,
Have the
right?
knowledge, the
Now,
background.
look at it this way: if you were a medical, yes, you already have the background knowledge. Also, that if you were a medical doctor, right? Now, and let's assume, so you have tech companies now in the health industry, right? So an example, you have Helium Health, you have 54 genes, right? You would definitely be an advantage because you already understand the health industry, right? You already understand for 54 genes, they're talking about, you know, like it's very health. Mic check, mic check. Tell me, can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yes, I lost you for a
All
second.
right, okay. All right, cool, cool. So, yeah, cool. So, and if you were maybe, so I'm just giving an example. So, if you were a designer, right, and you're like, you know what, I'm tired of this brand designing, I'm tired of this UX thing that I'm doing, I want to go in. You're also welcome. Why? Because as a product manager, you must have eye for good design. So, me now, I had to take courses in product design, right? I had to, in fact, there's a conference I went for. This is a design conference, a 3 days conference that is for designers. I paid for the conference, and the conference was in London. Why? Because as a product manager, you must have eye for good design, especially if you are building B2C products. By B2C products, I mean building products for consumers, for users. You know, you need to be able to know how to critique your product designer's work. You need to be able to suggest and recommend. You know, it's not just, oh, take and like, oh, it's good. You know, because you also want to hear how you're thinking about this thing. So your background, don't ever see it as a disadvantage, is what I'm trying to tell you, you know. Then the next thing you then need is to look at your transferable skills, right? We talked about ownership. It's a transferable skill. How you have handled projects in the past would also determine how you would handle projects now when they give you a project to manage, right? Communication skills, you'll be communicating a whole lot. Verbal communication, written communication. So many product managers don't like to write, but you need to learn how to write and communicate clearly with your writing. So think about how those transferable skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills, you state within. I believe you have those skills. Now, the next thing that you want to do is to see how you can tweak your CV. You can rewrite your CV in such a way that it's a lot more focused on the transferable skills that you have. So you might need an expert to help you do that. You might need somebody who already works in the product management industry to help you tweak. I do it for people to help you, because you can't do, it's not one CV fits all. No. If you have one CV and it's that one CV you are using to apply for all your roles,
For everything.
I'm afraid. Because the requirements for roles are different.
Are
And you need
different.
to make sure that your CVs reflect. There are some keywords that are expected. I recruit product managers. I interview product managers. No recruiter has time to be staring at your CV for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, because there are a whole lot of CVs. So if I cannot quickly scan through your CV, right, and then say, okay, I think this person is a good fit, it means that the way you have written your CV, the content, the words they don't catch me. Like, I can't see product management in it. I remember that we said product management is ownership, it's problem solving, right?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
prioritization. Prioritization is not, it's a skill that you can learn, and it's a skill that you maybe even been applying in your past role as a medical doctor, as an account manager, as a brand designer. If you are a brand designer, or maybe a freelance person, you probably have like many projects. So how do you prioritize that this is the project you want done before which one? Right? You probably prioritize, even as you were small, like while growing, you probably prioritized at one point in your life. Even in saying, oh, this is the relationship that I want to be in. You have maybe many suitors around you. Even in taking a decision, you probably looked at some things and said, okay, this is the person I want to get married to, this person I want to be in a relationship with, right? So how do, like, they are transferable skills. That's what I really mean. So look at those skills and see how you can tweak your CVs to reflect that. Now, the other thing is how to market yourself. Permit me to use the word market yourself. Market yourself in the sense that, so you need to learn how to talk about yourself, and talk about yourself from the place of value and the impact you would make in that organization, right? So, um, and even marketing yourself via your CV, because your CV is your marketing tool. Because you're not there, it's like it's marketing you, right? Even during your interview, too, you're marketing yourself by the kind of things that you say. So you need to make sure that your CV shows like three major things, right? So the first thing is that it shows impact. Oh, this is the impact that this person would bring. Second thing is that it also shows that, like, we can put some numbers to these things, right? But this person is not just talking. This person has said, oh, in my past life as a project manager, I managed 10 projects. Out of these 10 projects, 8 of them were successful. Then you are you are showcasing your skill set. So I actually talk about like the SIM. You can call it like a SIM model. SIM. SIM. First thing is showcase your skill set. Mm. Secondly, talk about impact, and then make sure that your impact is measurable, because organizations like numbers. So you
Yeah.
say, oh, I led a team of 8 people, or I led a project of 8 people, and we earned 50% thousand as revenue. What does that show you? I first of all said that that skill set that I have is leadership, right? Then I can talk about the impact, which is, oh, this is how much you earned of $50,000, right? Impact M. And then the next thing M is measurable, or I say impact I. The next thing M, which is measurable, which is saying that, I can see numbers. You work with a team of 8 people, and then it brought up $50,000. So people can always use the same I call it like the same framework. I don't think if you check same framework, you'll probably not see it online.
It's
So
a
this
Tobi Otokiti model.
oh my dear, you are in the spirit.
All right.
Yeah. And then from that way, as I said, market yourself, show it as even in giving examples, you want to say skill set, impact, and measurable. Skill set,
Mm,
impact,
impact
and
and
measurable.
measure.
Team model by Tobi Otokiti.
I'm
Then
sure everyone that is listening is going to notice it so that next time we meet you and you don't recognize the person who is talking, we just say, I was at your training. Remember, you taught us SIM. SIM. Thank you. Sorry, you were going to say something.
all right. So I said talked about marketing. Um then what else? Yeah. So let's start again from the very beginning. Remember that your skills are transferable. It's not to your disadvantage. Then remember that you need to learn how to market yourself, marketing yourself via your CV and also like during your interviews using the same model. Then the other
What
thing,
about
you also
on
need to
LinkedIn or social media?
yes, so
Do
that's
you think
I'll
that's
get there. So that is also important. Yes, that is also important. So for example, you can but the thing is I don't want people to force it. I don't want you to force
mm,
it because I want it to flow naturally. So when I post on LinkedIn, I maybe post based on things that I have learned that I want to share with people, or things that I have read I want to share with people, or things that people have asked me and I feel like some people have been asking me this question. No, well, let me just answer it and then just post
finally
it there.
press?
So there needs to be a reason. You can't say that because Toby has told you to post, then post every day. Like if I see your post every day, I might probably get tired. Maybe just me. I'm like, oh, like it's like your brain is always functioning every second. And you always have something to spill out. Or in my mind, I'm like, are you always on social media like every day? Like maybe you don't really have like work. That it's
Work
really
offline.
you maybe don't really have like this is just like my own personal opinion. I'm not saying that's what it should be for
I understand,
everybody
but you're
because
of the
you know
opinion that you can share when you have something to say.
yes, when you have
When there's
something
something
to
to
say.
say.
Yeah, but if you are trying to build a product manage, if you are trying to build like people having the product management perception about you, then share about product management. It could be a book you read, it could be a product management book. It could be a leadership book. It could be maybe you read something on road mapping, you won't share with people. Or it could even you being just so it could even be a product tear down. So what does a product tear down mean? It means that you're analyzing products. So because I do that very frequently. I'm like, oh, okay, they just released this new product. Let me even check out this product. And then you're asking people about what do you think about this product? These are my own thoughts about the product, and these are I think that the product manager could have improved on the product. So you need to be very strategic about how you post because remember that you're trying to build a perception in the minds of people that
Mm,
you're indeed an asset. By asset I mean like
mm.
if you hire me as your product
You're gonna
manager,
get
all
the
these things that
work
we're talking
done.
about, yeah, you will see it
Interesting.
come there. Yeah,
So
so
yes, you just touched on branding.
yes, so that but don't force it as I said, because for me personally, I like engaging posts. I like,
Okay.
because for example, for Temi, I know Temi's posts are usually always engaging. You always see people comment, people. So I think Temi should take us one of these days on how she does that. Like I
Oh,
really love engaging.
definitely. I mean, I have classes on that, but this is not for me. This is Toby's class, and we're learning from her.
Yeah, so there are strategies around. Like I usually say, without strategy, you're in tragedy.
Mm,
Your post
mm,
should be strategic. They are not just coming to
mm,
make noise. Even on Twitter, when I tweet on Twitter, there are strategic posts. On LinkedIn, there are strategic
mm.
posts. That people from Facebook, Google will be sending you messages in your like, oh, okay. So from what we've seen so far, we think that please can we have a one-on-one chat?
That's
That's because
interesting.
of you built that perception. about,
Mm.
your product man. Yeah, so that works as well. Um, and then you can write blogs. I really just wish people read more. You can write blogs and then trust and pray that people will read it. You can also do podcasts, but you can try to make your podcast short, so it's not too long. For me, I listen to podcasts maybe when I'm doing a house chore or maybe early in the morning. I just need something to motivate me, to just
They have to
make
be
me
something
happy.
engaging.
Yeah, and engaging, but don't make your podcast too long. You could also so you could start, what other thing? And yes, you need
Let me just
training.
quickly add.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I was just going to quickly add that if anyone has questions now, I would like you
Okay.
to drop the questions in the chat box so that we can collate them and take them quick. So please, if you have questions, we'd like to see them. As soon as I get them, I will ask her and then we'll continue. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, you were
All
saying
right.
we need training.
Yeah. So I think I'm talking about training is very important. Training because it helps with your
Yes.
imposter syndrome. I battled with imposter syndrome at the beginning because I wasn't sure what it is I was doing. So training just it helps with your imposter syndrome. Like, what, okay, I'm in the right direction and I'm doing the right thing. And also equips you with the right skill sets. Because in product management, to succeed as a product manager, you don't. So firstly, you need product management knowledge. What do I mean by product management knowledge? You need to understand product road mapping. You need to understand data analysis. You need to understand how to prioritize as a product manager. You need like market analysis. Like now, last week I did like a market research, you know. So it means that you need to upskill in these areas, right? Now, there are also soft skills that you need as well, which is leadership skills, because you are leading an organization, you are leading your team member. You need communication. Can you communicate clearly? Can you communicate? Is your communication concise? If you put words in like 10 sentences, can people grab and understand? You know, your conversations, are they engaging like that, or is it just very low energy? The people that you talk with, like, oh gosh, can this meeting please just end? And the people that you have conversations with, that you're really enjoying the conversation. So yeah, so you need that as well.
Mm.
So you need the soft skills, you need the hard skills. All of these things can be learned, and yeah, I
So you
think that's
mentioned that you battled with imposter syndrome as a product manager. Can you tell us about that? We like stories.
yeah. So imposter syndrome is you always doubting yourself, right? And doubting yourself because you are not most times when you're not sure of what it is, how to go about it. Sometimes, or it could be, for me, my own imposter syndrome comes when I'm not sure of how to go about things, or when I'm like, oh my god, like, hey, how do I go about this thing? They're giving me this responsibility and I'm not just sure. So for me, I had to take trainings to help battle with that. And um and I just told myself that I'll be fine. What? Same thing. I went to learn monetization because I'm like, oh god, I need to start creating monetization strategies. And even
Okay.
though I've succeeded in projects before, but there is that fear of, oh god, I don't want this project that they've committed into my hands to fail. And sometimes you need to intentionally remind yourself of how you succeeded in your past projects because it helps. I do it. I'm like, so you succeeded in this project before, so why are you afraid? But there's always that thing, there's always like a second when you forget and then you're scared. But you need to bring yourself into, remind yourself of, okay, I worked on projects like this. And at the beginning, when I worked on this project, it's not like I was also very sure. But, with grit, with consistency, with endurance, you know, eventually I succeeded. Okay, so I'm going to apply that same grit, that same consistency, that same endurance, that same being persistent, the same asking questions, clarity questions, reaching out to people. I'm going to apply that again in this thing and then trust that it's going to be successful. You know. So that's how I dealt with my
So there's a
yeah.
question here says, how did you build trust at a new product? How do you build trust in a new product management role? How do you get your team members or your boss to trust
Okay, so great question. I, yeah, so how do you build trust as a new PM in your job? So you build trust. I think I talked about it, but I'm going to say it again. You build trust by getting things done. That's really how you build trust. And that's how people are able to commit more into your ends. Now, what do I mean by getting things done? So if they say we trying to think, I'm trying to think of an example for you. Adewale Jesito for me. The name sounds very familiar. Yeah, trying to think of an example. Okay, so let's say we have a product that exists in Nigeria today, and we want that product. We want people in Ghana and South Africa to start using that product, right? And I'm like, okay, Adewale, you know what? Can you help us carry out a market research, right? Because before you expand into other markets, you need to carry out a market research. You need to be sure that there are people there who need that product. Now, how you go about that work and the output of your work matters to me. And that now helps me to know if the next time I would give you that kind of work to do. You get now. So if you come back to me to say, okay, can you clarify? I'm happy to do that to clarify, because the most important thing is that the job is that you get that job done right. Now, if you also come back to me to say, okay, can you guide me on how to do that? I'm also happy to do that. You know, but and then if you now come back to me with like the output is fair, I'm also happy about it, right? Because you are not like the so I want to give like a parable, the parable of the one talent, that God gave you one talent and then you dug an hole and just, at least you came back with something, you right? And I can always give you feedback. And that way you've earned my trust. Earned my trust in the sense that if I give Adewale something, she will do it. Right. Now, if I give you feedback and I give you feedback because I know that you would improve on that work. Right. Now, if you now want to expand into another country, I've built trust in Adewale already, right? We want to expand to Ghana. Adewale, can you undo this? Now, before you know it, I trust Adewale. Okay, she did this thing right well again, Ghana, and even incorporated all the feedback that I gave her. The next thing, if there's another project, that we need to do,
get it
maybe
right that
we
time?
need to, yes, then you've earned my trust because you got that work done. That for me is how you build trust with people you know. Um, yeah, so really that's it for me. Yeah.
So someone said,
And
I
it
believe
comes
we
with great
answered this.
responsibility. Okay, cool.
You said something.
No, no,
You
no,
wanted
no.
to
I
ask
said,
something.
when you excel in something they're giving you, that's like more work. You did this thing well, then let's give her more work to do. Let's give her more work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next question is, where do I start from if I wish to be a product manager? I believe we've talked about this, but just for the sake of this person, if you could just summarize, very briefly, just person wishes to be a product manager and
Okay,
wants to
cool.
start.
So where do you start from? Start with your communities. Hi, I think this is the Mubashar 99.
Yes.
Hello. Great. So first thing that you need to do is know know that you are not disadvantaged. I usually like people to have that mindset. It doesn't matter where it is they're starting from. you know Second thing is start reading on the internet about product management. What does it mean? What is expect? Is this even a role you're excited about before you even go down that route? Is this something that you like? Right. Second thing is join product management communities. You have product tank Abuja. It's a gift to you. The communities are free. I don't know of any product management community in Nigeria where people are paying. Join product dive, join product school, join communities, network with product managers. There is a partnership that we recently had with Efina, like an ideathon, an hackathon thing. Yeah, and I encourage product managers, in our community to join, because that is one way for you to gain practical experience. The partnership was because we wanted product management to have real hands experience. So there is the learning from internet, and there is also the hands-on experience, right? So the next thing that you can now start to do is install products on your app and start to ask yourself, if I was the product manager of this product, how would I have done this? How would I have improved on this thing? Look at the skill sets that are required of a product manager, one of which is user research. Are you comfortable with, speaking to people, trying to figure out what their needs are, because they are building products for people? Are you comfortable, analyzing data? Are you comfortable measuring data? Because I usually say this thing: what you do not measure, you cannot improve. So it's important that you're always measuring your work, you're always tracking metrics, KPIs, key performance indicators, for your products. Because key performance indicators tell you if your products are doing well or not. So join communities, then reach out to people, product managers. Product managers can be sometimes very busy. Me personally, when people reach out to me for mentorship, it's very hard for me to agree to mentorship. So I would prefer that the person asks me like a specific question, then I can respond to it. Because mentorship is, I don't know, it's like a long term thing in my mind. So for me, I watch from afar and then follow these people. If Bill Gates tells me today, oh, he read this book and he gained from it, I'll go and buy the book. Bill Gates talked about one book, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. I bought the book. you know,
Mm.
Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. Because I really like Michelle. In fact, somebody even told me jokingly one day, there was this Esther that I did. I also look like Michelle, like, oh my God, it's like Michelle. I bought her book.
Oh.
So buy their books, take their
Mm.
trainings. Because nobody can give you like 1 month. Like, product management, honestly, like there's a whole lot. Me right now, if I have like a free time, I'll probably using that time to learn data analysis because I need it for my work now. So if there are contents I've pushed out there before, go and read it. If there are trainings, go and take it. That brings you closer even to the person. But thinking that somebody would, give you like 5 hours of their time, it can happen, but I think that the chances are slim, and you want to achieve your goals like faster enough. So you need to think of what are the other ways, that I can think about, in getting my goals done, or achieving my goals. So I talked about
Exactly.
joining
Such an
communities. Yes, I talked
yes,
about
you
reaching
have.
out to people and then ask people specific questions. Don't just tell me, Toby, can you mentor me? I get that a lot. Ask me your specific. Okay, so you want to tell me what can I do, and then I will tell you. I'll type it, or I will send you an article that helped me, and share that same article with
Your
you.
thoughts.
You know, yeah. Um, Yeah, so I think that's what I have right now off the top of my
I
head.
don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt you. Thank you so much, Toby. It's been really, really
Mhm.
insightful learning from about your journey
Thank
as a
you.
product manager and lessons for your younger self. A lot of product managers are on the line now and they're picking up a lot of lessons. And I believe that some of these lessons you're sharing are even life lessons. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing
You're
that. So
welcome.
someone has asked how to join this Slack community. And I'd like you to answer that as you give your final words because we are coming to a close already. So how can we join the Slack community that you have spoken about, this product type? Can you please tell us about?
Okay, so the first thing that I can do to help you achieve this goal very fast is that, Temi, I'm going to share the link with you now.
Okay.
Yes, the link for people to join. Just give
You
me
can
a
put it up in
second.
the chat room.
Yes, that's correct. Then the other thing is that we have these links on social media bios, so they can join from there as well. Tell me, where do I drop the link?
Just in the chat room here in the live stream. So our team members
Okay,
will pick it up and share it on
all
YouTube.
right, cool. Okay, so I've done that. I don't know
Thank
if you
you.
can see that
Same.
now. All right,
Yes,
good.
I
So they
can
can
see it.
share with
It has
us
come
today.
in and we'll
All
pick
right,
it up and share.
cool, cool. So check on Twitter. You have the link to join on our bio. I think it's on Instagram as well. I think it's even on the website. You know, and Damilala, you can send me. I don't know if you're following me on Twitter. I can personally send it to you because in the coming weeks, our Slack is going to be very
Going to be
engaging.
really amazing.
Yes, because we recently signed in 5 community organizers, and their role is to ensure that every product manager in Slack succeeds. They're providing the right content that helps you to succeed. They're providing the right resources. So we signed in 5 people just for you who would go all out. Because you must really, if you want to do this job, you must really love people. We are not forcing you. So and and they started this week that's just ending. In fact, they even started sharing their plans with me. And I'm very excited about it. Like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, we see more product managers winning. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
welcome, Damilola, to the community.
All right. So Toby, you want to say final words as we close?
Okay, so final words would be, reach out to me at any point in time. I'm available. Send me a message on Twitter. There's also a course that I'm starting that I'll be launching this month for anyone who wants to transition into product management. I will share the link with Semi so they can subscribe. There's also there's a book I put together. It's a it's a brief about kind of like 10 pages or something that talks about like the most frequently asked questions that I've gotten from product managers, like 7 questions. People asking what's a product manager, what's the difference between product management and project management, how much do product managers earn. So the frequently asked questions, I put it together in a book. It's free. You know, I'm going to share the link again with the community with Temi, and so they can share them. They can send it as an email to everyone, and then you can get the book for free. Yes, and then you can also follow me on LinkedIn. Same Tobi Otokiti, same name across all social media, and I'm always happy to help.
Thank you so much. So this
Temi.
the link on the screen that just showed now was a link to the Slack community, and the other link you would share would it's still on the link now, the product dive community, so you can join in and be a part of it. Thank you so much, Toby. Tobi Otokiti is the
Thank you.
senior growth product manager at FlutterWave, and it's been such an insightful conversation with her. But you know that we are here today because Product Tank Abuja made this meeting possible. That's why we can meet people like Tobi Otokiti and learn from them and hear about communities like Product Dive and want to be a part of it. So it's important to bring up the host to tell us about this Product Tank Abuja. What's it about? How can we be a part of Product Tank Abuja? What's in our mind? What's the plan for Product Tank Abuja going forward? So I'll just bring up Joseph now to come talk to us about Product Tank Abuja before we close. And to thank Tobi
Okay.
Otokiti, of course, to appreciate her.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toby.
You're welcome. Hi, Joseph.
Hi, Toby. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing very valuable lessons. I'm sure everyone that has listened learned a lot, and I know more people will come and just go back to this video and learn a lot as well. Yeah, so the link on your screen is the link to join the Product Tank Abuja community. If you go to Mind the Product, you can join so you can get updates on meetups and get notifications as well. Product Tank, just like any other product management community, is a community for people that are product managers or you want to just start a career in product management, or you are already a product manager that wants to keep learning and grow and meet other people in the community. Product Tank is that sort of setup, and it's an informal meetup that brings together people. Before now, Product Tank used to happen physically, but because of the pandemic, we've started having a lot of online meetups. So Product Tech Abuja is very new, and this is our first meetup, and we're really grateful that we could host Toby for this. Thank you so much, and
You're
thanks,
welcome.
Temi, for a wonderful session as well.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Temi.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you for the energy. All
Thank you, my
right.
dear
So
Temi.
thank you so much, Toby. I like the energy you brought, made it so interesting. We had a great time from the beginning and we're closing now. So thank you so much for joining everyone. Thank you, Toby, once again. Have a lovely evening ahead. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. We love you. You mean so much to us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.